Yeah. It's like a lot of coaches, man. You can really see it since Germany. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'll first got here, I'm like, dude, I'm sure about sunglasses. Yeah.
Welcome to the Kettleers exhibition opener at Cape Cod's Field of Dreams, Lowell Park, as we start the 78th season in the prestigious Cape Cod Baseball League. We have a new manager, Lauren Hicks, will be guiding the Kettleers this year. Coach Hicks is an experienced, accomplished head coach who has earned Coach of the Year honors in 4 major conferences: the Metro Conference, the Conference USA, Atlantic 10, and the American. He was head baseball coach at UNC Charlotte, and most recently at Wichita State. In addition, Hicks has experience as a pitching performance consultant, assistant athletic director, on-air broadcaster and analyst for Charlotte's AAA ball club, and a college baseball recruiter. Kettleers would like to welcome the Lexington Blue Sox, who made an early June date at Lowell Park, an annual tradition. Today marks the 18th year the two teams have met. The Blue Sox were founded in 1995 by owner and manager Rick DeAngelis, a college star himself at Holy Cross, who was recruited to play for the Kettleers in 1968 by legendary general manager Arnold Mycock. Under DeAngelis' leadership in Boston's Intercity League, the Blue Sox have been crowned champions 11 times. But the lure of Lowell Park and Cotuit is the primary reason the Blue Sox make the annual trip. Said DeAngelis, "This is the most special place I ever played." End of quote. And now, let's take a look at today's starting lineups. For Lexington, leading off, center fielder, number 20, Charlie Cabela from Boston College. Batting second, playing shortstop from Eastern Nazarene, number 2, Anderson Jimenez. In the third spot, first baseman from Tufts, number 34, A.J. Lisco. Batting in the cleanup spot, the designated hitter from Lawrence, number 3, Gene Carlos Ramirez. Batting fifth, the extra hitter, Holy Cross Crusader, number 19, Luke Ward. Batting fifth, playing the hot corner, number 50, Tyler Normandy, Worcester State. Batting seventh, number 46, David Vanderzorn, second baseman, Bentley. In the 8th spot, the left fielder from Holy Cross, number 14, Pat Casserly. 9th, the catcher from Bates, number 7, Matt Dusty. Batting 10th, the right fielder, number 47, Will Norris. Starting pitcher today for Lexington, number 32, Jack Bolo from Georgetown University. And now for the hometown Cotuit Kettleers. Leading off, playing second baseman, Cal Berkeley, returning for his second year, number 7, Jaron Advincula. In the second spot, the left fielder from Wichita State, number 12, Camden Johnson. Batting third, returning also for his second year from Cal Berkeley, the shortstop, number 8, P.J. Mutsaritas. Batting cleanup, playing right field from Missouri State, 25, Max Knight. In the fifth spot, the third baseman, Texas State, 33, Ray Barber. Batting sixth, the catcher from Virginia Tech, 27, Anderson French. Batting seventh, playing first base from Lafayette, number 26, Ethan Swindler. In the 8th spot, the center fielder from Indiana, number 13, Andrew Wiggins. Batting ninth, the DH, North Carolina State, number 10, Ryan Jarros. Starting pitcher today for the Kettleers, number 40, Kevin Deverman from Evansville. Our umpires today on the plate, Kevin Saxton on the bases, Anthony Brunelli. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we all ask that you please rise for the singing of our national anthem today, as we call on former Cotuit resident Nikki Chevalier with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Nikki Chevalier with our national anthem. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to play ball here at Lowell Park as we entertain the 2025 Cape Cod Baseball League season.
And after hearing the dulcet tones of longtime Cotuit Kettleers public address announcer Roy Reese, now you have to deal with me. From Lowell Park in Cotuit, Mass. On Cape Cod, this is Lexington Blue Sox baseball here on LSP. Today, it is once again for the 18th time the Lexington Blue Sox taking on the Cotuit Kettleers of the Cape Cod League in this exhibition series that is, again, in the 18th edition. Rick DeAngelis, of course, Kettleers alum, and some fascinating facts about this series in particular and how long it's lasted later on the broadcast. Good afternoon, everybody. Sam Feely here with you, ready to bring you the play-by-play story. Well, the Blue Sox, well, as far as the Intercity League is concerned, it's a logjam at the top of the standings. Like, no one's been able to get separation early. And, of course, in a very short 28-game season, every game counts. And the Blue Sox have 3 games in 3 days coming up Monday through Wednesday before they will be back. Before they'll be off until the following week when interleague play starts again for the second year against the Park League and the Yawkey League. And the last time you saw our heroes, they were trying to complete a game under threat of power outages and rolling blackouts implemented by the town of Lexington because of oversurge or whatever the correct term is. I don't know. I'm not a powerologist. Because of the first hot day of the year, everyone turn on the AC and Yeah, a little bit too much to handle, and unfortunately, power went off at LHS in center field too many times and too long for us to be able to complete that game. That game was suspended in the third inning. Charlie Camella, the BC product, to lead things off against the left-hander from the Evansville Purple Aces, Kenton Deverman. And our first pitch coming at you at 1:59. In there for a strike. We are underway. Deverman coming off a second season with the Purple Aces in which he went 3-7 with a 5.61 ERA. Misses with that one, and it'll be ball one to even the count. Deverman in his first year with the Aces, 9-2 with a 4.22 ERA and 111 innings. Had a 3.61 strikeout to walk ratio. There's a grounder to third. Good recovery by the third baseman, Ryan Farber, out of Texas State. And Camella is retired for out number one. And I think at this point, I should probably zoom out the camera again. Sorry about that to Mr. Farber's family. Yep, that's a bit of a quick one, but one-man show, folks. But, that's how it's usually been. So one up, one down. Camella retired, and here is AJ cutting and missing for, a foul tip into the mitt for strike one, 91 on that heat from one Kenton Deverman. Jimenez out of Eastern Nazarene watches that one go high for ball one, 93 on the gun that time from Deverman. And I'm only making so many mentions of the radar gun today because, generally speaking, we don't have that luxury at the Intercity League, but I'm sure the pitchers on the Blue Sox will love to see those numbers themselves. Off-speed pitch at 77, and AJ was lucky to make contact and then just foul it off. Otherwise, might have been another chance for Farber to make a nice play. So 1-2 is the count with one out here in the top of the first. Jimenez on the ICL season, 375 in his first three games. And we also have the pitch clock going. And we have a 93-mile-an-hour fastball going well past AJ for out number two.
In the third spot for the Blue Sox, first baseman from Cubs, number 34, AJ Lisco.
Here's AJ Lisco. Sounds like he's got a cheering section here for him. What about all the other Tufts players on the Blue Sox roster? A quick and sudden influx of Jumbo's players on the Blue Sox in the last couple of years, including some of the best pitchers the Sox have on the roster right now. That is ball one, just barely missing the inside edge. Lisco fouls that one off, evens the count one. Lisco is 2 for 4 with a double and 1 RBI in limited action so far in the ICL season. Fastball in there at 92 for a strike, and it is 1-2. For all the emphasis put on velocity and launch angle these days as two of the main metrics for scouting amateur talent, as that gets the outside corner for strike three. Hey, 92 will do it for you sometimes. All right, half inning in the books. Blue Sox nothing. Kettleers coming up. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in card. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly. Made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the checkout codes on the screen, the link on the screen. Both are in the description as well for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. And as Jack Volo takes the mound as the first noodle for the Blue Sox today. We'll give you the full lineups for both teams. You already saw Camella, Jimenez, and Lisco. Then it'll be Giancarlos Ramirez as a DH. Luke Ward, the extra hitter. Tyler Normandy at third. David Vanderzoun at second. Pat Casserly in left. Max Dushney behind the plate. And Will Norris in right. Again, Jack Volo, the Georgetown product, getting the start in this exhibition game. For the Kettleers, it'll be Jared Advincula leading it off at second base, followed by Camden Johnson in left. PJ Muzaritas is at short. Max Knight is in right. Ryan Farber is at third. Anderson French is behind the plate. Ethan Swidler is at first. Andrew Wiggins, no relation, is in center. And Ryan Jaros rounds out the lineup as the DH for the Cotuit Kettleers, who are under new management this year. Longtime manager Mike Roberts departing the team, and in his stead comes Lauren Hibbs, who's been named a Coach of the Year in 4 different conferences: Metro Atlantic, Conference USA, A10, and the American. Most recently at Wichita State for his most recent head coaching duties, and recently served as a broadcaster for the Charlotte Knights AAA team, which is fitting considering he had also coached at UNC Charlotte. 49ers for some reason.
Leading off for the Kettleers, center baseman, number 7 from Cal Berkeley, Jaron
Advincula making his return trip to the Kettleers. This is his second year with the club. Settles into the batter's box, left-handed hitting second baseman out of UC Berkeley. And Volo, Division I noodle in his own right, winds and delivers. One 1-0 is the count to Advincula. Oh, grounder to third, picked up and fired on to first to beat the speedy Advincula. Strong throw by Tyler Normandy to get the first out of the bottom of the first.
Batting center, the left fielder from Wichita State, the 12, Camden Johnson.
Here's Camden Johnson, left fielder out of Wichita State. Again, Coach Lawrence holds stomping grounds, most recent stomping grounds as a coach anyways. Johnson is a Texan. Completed his second year with the Shockers, one in which he slashed .325, .402, .433, 100 total bases, and just finished one shy of that mark last year for Wichita State. But in a 2-0 hole right now is Jack Volo, to the number 2 hitter. 2 homers, 35 RBIs, and 9 steals in 12 attempts this season for Wichita State. We'll get to get me more fastball there in, and it'll be 2-1. That'll be outside, and it's 3-1 to Johnson, who last year for summer ball played in the Jayhawk Collegiate League in Kansas, as you probably could imagine. And he was 21 out of 21 in stolen base attempts. And that misses for ball 4, so we'll see if Mr. Johnson will try to test his wheels here against Max Dushney behind the plate. And I really want to give a shout-out to Mrs. D'Agostino. She came up to me before the game to thank me for some of the things I had said about Bobby in recent games. And, yeah, Bobby and Max are just really – they're a solid core of catchers for the Blue Sox. But we'll see how they fare with Johnson at first. Here's P.J. Muzaritas, another UC Berkeley product, and he just barely fouled that one off for strike 1. It's fortunate for Dush that he did, because as good an arm as Dush has, he didn't make contact. Johnson's in scoring position in the blink of an eye, probably. He goes, pitches a ball low, throw down to second. Good shoot, but not in time. Johnson gets the stolen base. The throw was there, unfortunately, for the Blue Sox. A good enough lead for Johnson. And he is in scoring position with a 1-1 count and 1 out to P.J. Muzaridis. Inside for a ball, and it is 2-1. Infield playing back on this cloudy day. That missed low, and it is 3-1. Long look at second, and remember the Blue Sox are playing with the pitch clock, and probably the only time this year. Those players who are active in college used to it, though. Volo St. Sebastian's arrow. Finished his sophomore year with the Hoyas. Grounder to short. Jimenez has it. On to first. Kind of a high throw, but able to keep his foot on the bag is A.J. Lisco for out number 2. To third on the play goes Johnson, but now 2 down for the Missouri State Bear, Max Knight, right fielder. Volo's here with the Blue Sox after spending the last 2 summers with, last summer with the North Shore Navigators and the summer of 2023 with the Brockton Rocks, the NECBL and the Futures League, respectively. 1-0 is the count to Max Knight. Max transferred to Missouri State this season, playing last year with the Oklahoma State Cowboys in limited action. 2-0 is the count. He swings and fouls that one off. The other way, it'll be 2-1. This year for the Bears, Max /275, 388, 551, with 8 doubles, 1 triple, 13 homers, 46 ribbies, and 10 steals in 12 attempts. Last year for Greenville of the Appalachian League, 289, 394, 398 was his slash line. 1 homer and 16 ribbies and 6 steals in 7 attempts. And last foul ball, we got an even count, 2-2 to Max Knight. Breaking ball comes back to the outside corner for strike 3 called, and the side is retired. Volo strands Johnson at third. No score after 1. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot, whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach. Email yours truly, samfeelypvp@gmail.com for all the deets. As we go to the top of the second, I'll get used to this. We have a new arm on the mound for the Cotuit Kettleers, and it'll be the right-hander out of Virginia Tech, Preston Crowell.
For the Kettleers, number 35, Preston Crowell, Virginia Tech. Crowell, number 35.
Crowell was born in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, so for him to, go to Va Tech sounds like a war crime within the ACC, but coming off his second year with the Hokies, 3.90 ERA in 32 1/3 innings. Gets Giancarlos Ramirez to cut and miss at the first one for strike number one. It'll be Ramirez, and then Ward and Normandy due up here in the top of the second. Foul tip into the mitt. 92. Count is 0-2. Understand we are having some buffering issues, but doing our best here. Might change tack on the connection between innings. First the 0-2 to Giancarlos. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Mr. Ramirez. One up, one down, and here comes Luke Ward.
Number 19, Luke Ward, the extra hitter, a Crusader from Holy Cross. Ward, number 19.
Luke Ward, could hear his cheering section. Lisco's got a cheering section. Ward's got one too, apparently. Ward, a Holy Cross alum, and Rick DeAngelis himself being a proud Holy Cross alum. Some connections there, and found some different pipelines over the years for the Blue Sox. Used to get plenty of talent from Bentley, where Steve Gath and Ross Curley played their college balls. College ball plural? I don't know. Is that how you can do it? Anyways, it is 0-2 to Luke. These days, it's seen a lot of Tufts kids coming into the Blue Sox fold, as that misses outside of the curveball and is 1-2. Feels weird that would be the case, though, because for a time, the Andre Chiefs called Tufts home for their home games. That's in there for strike three called on 93. 2 down. I'll bring up Tyler Normandy.
From Worcester State, number 50, Tyler Normandy.
Normandy is a Worcester State Lancer, as long as we're talking about schools in the heart of the Commonwealth. Excuse me. Strike one to Tyler. Normandy yet to make his official Blue Sox debut. That's in the top of the zone for strike two, and that is the beauty of baseball, is one Danny Jansen can attest to. Make your debut after you actually make your debut. Time travel is possible, folks. 0-2 with 2 out here in the top of the second. No score at Lowell Park in Cotuit, Mass. 0-2. Here it comes. Down low for a ball. 1-2. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, this is the 18th meeting, weekend that these teams have faced each other. It's a time when the Blue Sox would come down for 2 games, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, spend overnight here in the Cape. No longer the case, but still getting this in somehow. And it's really interesting that we have gotten this game in every time we've even tried. That's grounded to third base side, and foul. Remains 2-2. The reason I say that is this game has never been called off due to rain. The only time these teams haven't played was 2020, and we all know why that was. COVID pandemic shut down just about everything. The Blue Sox were able to, round up a couple of teams for the Pete Fraze Dave Ahern Cup, but not a full ICL season. But over the course of this series, we have always gotten to first pitch. First pitch may have been delayed. We may have had a delay in the middle of the game. Rain might have cut things short, and boy, was it a mess last year. But we have never not seen a first pitch that we intended to see. When I say LSP has something for everyone since 2011, I, by God, mean it. Sports, live events, pet sitting and walking, tech help, errands, and a whole lot more. Find our Thumbtack page and Linktree LSP37 or email yours truly so we can proceed to give you what you need. And we'll go to the bottom of the second with Volo back out there for another inning of work. Now, there's no necessarily determinate end of this game with an exhibition. This is meant to be, competitive practice, essentially, because for one thing, the Kettleers don't yet have their full roster available. Some of them are still in the Super Regionals, and some may have to wait a while longer with the College World Series forthcoming, depending on how those teams fare. So the Blue Sox and the Kettleers will basically, this is not the official, determination, though. Just essentially play until they don't have any more players, especially when it comes to the pitchers. So we go to the bottom of the second, and here's Ryan Farber, the third baseman out of Texas State.
Leading off for the Kettleers, number 33, third baseman from Texas State, Ryan Farber. Farber, number 33.
Farber, native of San Antonio, and for the Texas State Bobcats this year, /267, 382, 380 with 4 homers and 33 ribbies. Already made a fine play in the top of the first of this game, for the very first out of the game, in fact. Hard smash by Camella over towards him, and initial bobble, but able to recover in time. And now he's got a smash into right field for a base hit. So fine start to the day for one Ren Farber, and here is Anderson French, the catcher, another Virginia Tech Hokie.
Wildcat, 27, Anderson Frank. Frank, number 27, from Virginia Tech.
French is from Redland High School in Lewisberry, Pennsylvania. Dear, where is that compared to your stomping grounds? Coming off a season with Vatek, in which he slashed 247, 416, 403, 3 homers and 11 RBIs, and 101 plate appearances. He had 19 hits and had 21 walks. Well, and was hit by 2 pitches. What does he do? He gets on base. Want to know the count? To French. Runner goes. Pitch is lined into right for a base hit. Kind of a dying quail of a liner, too. And with Farber running, it means runners at the corners with nobody out. And now here's Ethan Swidler, the first baseman out of Lafayette.
First baseman from Lafayette, 26, Ethan Swidler.
Swidler traveling across the country to attend college at Lafayette in eastern Pennsylvania. Native plays high school ball at Canyon Crest Academy in San Diego. And it's down away for ball 1. Junior year with the Leopards in the books, and slashed .331, .462, .494 with 14 doubles, 5 homers, and 33 ribbies. 1-1 the count as that is fouled off. Mentioned the Cotuit pitchers so far, topping at about 93 with their fastballs. Seen about like 85 to 88 so far from Volo. Let's see what he can break out here. Runner goes. The pitch is on the outside corner for a strike and no throw by Dushny on the 77-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. Kind of redundant there, I guess. I mean, depending on the level, that could be a good fastball. 1-2 is the count. Having flashbacks to MLB The Show commentary from Chris Singleton and Dan Plesac and such. There was a time when 89 was a pretty good fastball. Okay, cool. 2-2, again, with runners at second and third and nobody out. Kettleers looking for the first run of the ball game. Volo hoping for a strikeout here with the infield drawn in. Maybe a ground ball to freeze the runner at third. That'll be a fly ball into deep left center field, and it will be caught. It'll be deep enough to score the run as the throw comes to the cutoff man Jimenez, and scoring standing up is Ryan Farber for the first run of the ball game. It is 1-0.
From Indiana, center fielder number 13, Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins settling in. Center fielder out of Indiana. Oh! Great stab by Volo. Looked the runner back at second, then flipped on to first for the out, 2 down. That was ticketed to go up the middle for a base hit and probable RBI for Wiggins, but to no avail. Wiggins didn't have to go far for his college ball. He's from Indianapolis, played his prep ball at Heritage Christian, and now for the Hoosiers. Played for Keene of the NECBL last year, and for the Hoosiers this year, 256, 454, 414 was his slash line. And now the number 9 hitter, Ryan Jaros, a designated hitter out of NC State. A lot of ACC talent in this roster, this starting lineup, rather, for the Cotuit Kettleers. Jaros is out of Bayonne, New Jersey. DH in this one. He's listed as a third baseman and corner outfielder for the Wolfpack. He actually transferred to NC State after 1 year with the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. 304, 437, 493 is the slash line for this year with the Wolfpack. 3 homers and 14 RBI. Inside out swing, and that'll land foul for strike 1. 2-1 is the count. Jaron Advincula is in the on-deck circle if Jaros is able to prolong the inning. He's ahead 2-1 with a runner at second, 1 run home on a sac fly. 1-0 Kettleers. Little nubber at the plate, and that'll move it to 2-2. Mentioned that Jaros is a transfer to North Carolina State from Georgia Tech. John Heisman was at one time also the baseball coach at Georgia Tech, in addition to his duties as a football god. Just barely upstairs to fill the count. And it was, of course, Georgia Tech that put the whooping on Cumberland back in 1916 in the highest scoring game in organized football history, 222-0. that wasn't really a game. It was an act of cruelty provoked by Cumberland, if you were to ask Heisman, as that foul ball drops. He had Lisco shielding his eyes from the sun, trying to find it. It landed a couple feet in front of him, and do it again. Cumberland wanted to, restart its football team, so they tried to finance it through using ringers on their baseball team, and then they beat the Georgia Tech baseball team 22-0, and the rest is history. And a full-fledged John Boy's video, along with the books Cumberland and You Dropped It, You Pick It Up, and be even more authoritative resources if you want to dig more into that. Meanwhile, Jaros put on a good battle here. Bottom of the order, 3-2, with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the second. Volo looking at second, and now comes home with it, and that'll be fouled off again. It's not just, so I'm talking about a bottom of the order hitter. Mentioned the nice words that Mrs. D'Agostino had to say before the game to me. Dags and Dush, they're both great defensive catchers. They call great games, strong arms, and they also make life extremely difficult for pitchers from their usual spots towards the bottom of the Blue Sox order. And Dush able to give Volo the sign to get a strikeout and get out of that one with relatively little damage. 1-0 Kettleers after 2. The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD or digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts, or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with my dog, Tina the Long Arena, on it, and some words I've probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. LSP37.creator-spring.com for merch, and email yours truly for game videos. New noodle for the Kettleers is the left-hander, again out of Virginia Tech, Chase Swift. Swift, a native of Chester, Virginia, plays prep ball at PDG Academy in Fredericksburg, Maryland, and just completed his first season with the Hokies, in which he went 1-3 with a 3.99 ERA in 29 1/3 innings. Strikeout to walk ratio of 3.62 and a whip of 1.33.
Now batting for Lexington, number 46, David Van Zalen, second baseman, Bentley.
We had a no pitch because we're just waiting for the pitch clock to reset and get everything ready, and we are good to go. Mrs. Vanderzouwen's baby boy takes strike one after all that. DVZ getting the start at second today. Vanderzouwen, product of Bentley University. Skies this one into medium depth left, and that is caught easily by Johnson for out number one.
14, Pat Kennedy, left fielder, Holy Cross.
Here's Casserly. 0 for 5 in the ICL season thus far, but with a walk. Vanderzouwen 2 for 9 through his first 3 games with the Blue Sox this year. Cut on and miss for strike one on an 89-mile-an-hour piece, and it'll be 0-1 to Casserly. It'll be followed by Dushney. If anyone gets on, Will Norris swung over the top of that one, 79. You see a couple of guys to start the game, getting into the 90s, and hard to sit back after seeing that. 88, 1-2. Kettleers have 10 pitchers rostered for this game, at least just strictly as pitchers, and a couple of two-way players, including Nolan Stevens of Mississippi State. And Knight also two-way from Missouri State. I saw him. 2 up, 2 down, and here is Max Dushney to try and keep the line moving. Dush knows a thing or two about really up in the on-base percentage with absurd amount of walks and hit by pitch. What does he know about 8 and 9 down the chute, but coming up empty? 0-1. Oh, and 2. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning, or can Dush work his magic? Up and away for ball one. Now the real battle begins. And if you didn't know it from their play last year, the Blue Sox catching core, you've seen it in full effect, even in the losses so far this year by the Blue Sox catchers. Appeal down to first. He did not go to his 2-2. Not that every other 9 or 10 hitter you've ever seen gives up at-bats, but these are some of the toughest bottom-of-the-order hitters you'll see, and they're also going to make life difficult for you when they're behind the plate trying to get you to look foolish. Unfortunately for Dush, he went fishing there and threw 2.5, 1-0 Kettleers. Are you down with the sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web. Linktree, Facebook, YouTube, PayPal, Creator Spring. Don't forget to subscribe. Flash the subscribe button. Membership's also available. We're also on Thumbtack and TCG Player if you're into that sort of thing. Matt Draper takes over on the mound for the Lexington Blue Sox. Draper 1-1 already in the early going for the Blue Sox in the ICL season. 8 innings, a 3.50 ERA, 9 hits, 4 earned runs allowed, 3 walks to 9 strikeouts and 1 home run. Really washed the taste of that tough opening night loss of the Bulldogs out of his mouth by going 4 innings, allowing just 1 hit and no runs, with 1 walk and 7 Ks. And that 1 hit that he allowed was the only hit the Expos had the entire ball game. I got the Blue Sox back on the winning track this past Monday. Unfortunately, the efforts to try and keep the train rolling were thwarted by the Lexington, Massachusetts utility workers to remedy the sudden uptick in power use after the first hot day of the year and everyone turned on their AC basically. And thanks very much to Sal Mirabella for giving us the intel during that game to see if we would be able to continue safely, but unfortunately we could not. Fouled off. 2-2 to Jaron Advincula. And then it's going to be Camden Johnson and Musaritas due up after that. 2-2. Fouled off by Jaron. Remains 2-2. 90 there on the gun for Matt Draper. Again, for UMass Lowell product. I remember the first time I saw a Blue Sox pitcher break 90 on the radar gun here at Lowell Park. It was actually Dave Ahern who did that. Dave was a two-way talent in his own right. Babson Baseball's first ever All-American. Tragically passed away 9 years ago this summer in the midst of the Blue Sox championship run. But that's a memory that I hold in my heart, watching getting solid proof of a Blue Sox pitcher breaking 90 for the first time. Leadoff base hit by Advincula, and now here is Camden Johnson. Johnson stole second, but was stranded at third back in the first. 1-1. And, you can get hyped up by, big numbers on the radar gun. But the one game the Blue Sox have won in all of these meetings, you know who got the win? Matt Keogh. Keogh, who is now in the Blue Sox front office. Smoked the Kettleers by not even getting up to 70. Keogh did play D1 at Quinnipiac. And, maybe it's the opposite direction for Kettleers, or for Cape League players. You're so used to, guys who can get it up to, high 80s, 90s and above. And you're not ready for the soft tossers. And probably a good decision there by AJ to eat it with that slow roller deep in the hole to short. So infield single, and it is first and second, nobody out to begin the bottom of the third. Here's Mutsaritas, hoping to cash in with 2 on and nobody out for the second consecutive inning, by the way, for the Cotuit Kettleers. Fly ball into center, and it'll be hauled in there. And both runners tag. Excellent job. Excellent read from first base by Johnson. Mutsaritas flies out. Catch was made by Camella, and he went to the cutoff man, Jimenez, over closer to third base, and was not a very strong throw, so that gave the time Johnson needed to also tag up in advance, and could hear the Blue Sox dugout shouting 2-2-2, as in see if you can get the runner going to second. They did not. So AJ was trying to haul in that throw. His momentum was carrying him further out into the outfield, so an off-balance throw there. Danger for the Blue Sox. Set second and third, one out. That misses outside, 1-1 to Max Knight. 2 runners in scoring position and 1 down here in the bottom of the third. And Knight hoping to put a charge into 1. Comes up empty. 1-2. 82 he swung over the top of. Infield in, outfield playing more or less normal depth. 397 to dead center. Looking appetizing to a power hitter like Knight. It's only 320 to left. One and two once again from Draper tonight. Oof, just missed. I mean, that's been a ball all day, but, some umpires will give you that spot, and you've already seen one curveball come back to the outside corner and ring up a man. That would, in fact, would be Knight in the first inning. Pops this one up over to foul territory. 2 guys going after it. Did they catch it? Doesn't look like they did. Both Normandy and Jimenez going after that one is a dangerous spot. Never want to see teammates collide there. Trying to track that one down. But you also never want to be accused of flat-footing it. Whose ball is that supposed to be? So you figure both guys will be in their rights to try and go after that. They'll get the sure out at first here, but in from third is Advincula to make it 2-0 with 2 down now. Communication, of course, is key, as it is in literally everything. I'm having flashbacks to 2003 ALDS when Johnny Damon was taken off on a stretcher after a collision. Not Game 3, Game 5. Taken off on a stretcher after a nasty collision in game. The Red Sox, of course, eventually won before succumbing to the Yankees in 7, and Aaron Boone's walk-off. Fouled straight back, and it is 0-2 now to Ren Farber. Johnson at third with 2 down here in the bottom of the third, and first one coming on a sac fly, second one coming on a 4-3 ground out. The other way into left towards the corner. That gets down for a base hit. I'll try to get the runner at second, and he stretches it while the run comes in from third, and it is 3-0. Great read off the bat by Ren Farber. I'm not sure if Casserly thought that was going to hang up longer than it did, because I don't think he was, I know you got a lefty at the plate. I don't think he was set far enough towards center to just never be able to get that. But might have lost in the sun, maybe. The sun is starting to peek through the clouds again. Driving in here on 495, it was a bit of a question, at least in my mind. And Welcome to the wonderful world of anxiety. Some kind of thick gray clouds. I'm like, well, I know there's no rain in the forecast, but what happens? And then get flashbacks to last year's game. Well, unfortunately, it stayed away so far, and a swing and a miss. 1-1 to Anderson French. First 2 runs coming home on outs for the Kettleers. That is the first base hit to drive in an RBI that Farber just provided. Another pop-up into foul territory. Normandy will never have a play on it. It just goes into the bleachers. Blah. I've had a long couple of days, folks. Filmed a wedding yesterday. Just been buzzing around. So on and so forth. Magic the Gathering pre-release Friday night. Final Fantasy set. That goes down and in and to third on the wild pitch. Goes Farber. It's 2-2 now with a runner at third. 2 down. 3-0 Kettleers. Fouled off at the dish. Before we get too far, I want to wish a happy first birthday to my nephew Flynn. It's funny, Katrina's been off celebrating with Flynn and the rest of her family. Katrina's family. Flynn is a boy. 1-year-old bundle of joy. She's, took off this weekend, but at least she planned this one. Circumstances of Flynn's birth were a little different. Good patience by French to pick up the 2-out walk. And that'll bring up Ethan Swidler, first baseman from Lafayette. I distinctly remember on June 1st last year, us being woken up by a phone call that Flynn's time was now, and Katrina had promised she would go down to Pennsylvania to be with mom and dad and the newborn whenever it was. I'd have to stay back here for the Blue Sox. We've got a couple of hot boxes here. Thank God this is an exhibition. Did he get there? Get there safely? Wow. Amazing. See Dushney try to stretch out the last moment to tag Farber getting back to third, and he could not. The goal there for the Blue Sox was to prevent the run from scoring in the back door while they tried to play monkey in the middle with French. And now Swidler drives this one into left, but on a line and caught by Casserly for the out that retires the side. So in the end, that little bucket of syrup doesn't get any stickier, and it's 3-0 Kettleers after 3. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in cards. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly, made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the codes and the link on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. So as we go to the top of the fourth, to finish my thought about Flynn's birth, he was actually, it was especially surprising because Flynn was actually maybe even a month premature. Katrina, if you're in the chat and you're not driving, you can just confirm that for me. He's healthy and he's made it a year, and we're all better for it. But yeah, Katrina getting the call significantly sooner than she thought she would have. And she took off, spent the week down there. I stayed back here with Tina and the Blue Sox and everything else I do with my copious free time. Hopefully be able to make it down again to see little boy soon. Saw him a couple weeks after he was born. And last saw him in person at Christmas, week before Christmas, down with Katrina's folks. Happy birthday to Flynn, and again, congratulations to Caitlin and Brandon. So we go to the top of the fourth. Got another new wing on the mound for the Kettleers. It'll be Max Hogg, right-hander out of George Washington. The George Washington University. Hogg plays prep ball at the Bull School in Jacksonville. Duval. He's finished up his junior year with G-Dub. It's in there for strike one. Went 2-2 with a .485 ERA and one save in 52 innings, a 1.5 whip. Played last summer for Mystic in the NECBL and was 3-1 with a .178 and a .908 ERA. 6.5 strikeout to walk ratio last year for Mystic. 1.9 strikeout to walk ratio, though, that he had this season for G-Dub in the A10. This is the best he's had in college, but 6.5 with Mystic last summer. 1-2 is the count. And a swing and a miss, and Will Norris comes up empty in his first plate appearance. 1 up, 1 down. Lineup turns over. And it looks like we're going to have a Charlie Camella. He's outside for ball one. Jimenez due up after him, and Lisco if either of them get on. Camella hit that grounder to third that was handled very nicely by Farber for the first out of the ball game. That'll miss outside, 2-0. BC product Camella. Hogg being from George Washington, well, he'll get to welcome someone who's on the Blue Sox roster. New this year, Luke Maltasea. Catcher from Marblehead, plays prep ball at Nobles, and is committed to G-Dub. Maltasea has yet to appear in a Blue Sox game, however. Oh, he got a pitch clock violation, and that's a ball on Hogg, and it'll be 3-1. Time granted to the catcher, French. Make sure he's on the same wavelength as Hogg. So 3-1 after the pitch clock violation ball. And just get some anger out of his system with that fastball. Swung on and missed, and now a full count to Charlie. Inside corner, strike 3 call. Jimenez back to work and hoping for better results with or without a pitch clock ball handicap. Hog comes set and misses well down and away. 82 on that breaking ball. It'll be 1-0. Of course, full allotment of players not currently available for the Kettleers necessarily. Some might be still in the super regionals, or going to see a lot more pitchers available than position players. That's usually been the case in these games between the Blue Sox and the Kettleers. Grounder the opposite way, scooped up at first. PFP, baby! 1-2-3. Go the Blue Sox in the top of the 4th. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot. Whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach. Email yours truly, samfeelypbp@gmail.com for all the deets. Dan Metzdorf will take over on the mound for the Blue Sox here in the bottom of the 4th, and his first task will be the center fielder, Andrew Wiggins. I mentioned, Cape League teams not necessarily at full strength right now with the Super Regionals still going on, but Coastal Carolina has advanced to the College World Series and will be outside for a ball. Some other still 7 more spots to be determined. It looks like Duke and Murray State are going to go to a Game 3 with Murray State up 19-8 in the top of the 8th of that one. In Durham. 1-1 the count to Wiggins. Louisville's on top of Miami in an ACC battle, 3-2 in the top of the 9th, and later on Tennessee and Arkansas, UCLA and UTSA, LSU and West Virginia, and Florida State and Oregon State, with Arizona having already beaten UNC 4-3 and thus clinching the 2nd spot in the Men's College World Series in Omaha. So 6 more slots still to be filled. And again, it looks like Duke and Murray State will be going to Game 3 in that spot. And speaking of NCAA baseball, congratulations to Sammy Steed's alma mater, Tampa, winning the Division II College World Series after, dusting themselves off after that ridiculous comeback by Central Missouri in Game 1 of that series in Cary, North Carolina. coming back, and Spartans sealing the deal there for another College World Series, D2 College World Series title. And, condolences to Bruce Hack, in jest, of course, because Bruce is an alumnus of Florida Southern, Tampa's arch rival. And it's a bit of a running gag between Bruce and Sam Steed over the years. Say, how about those moccasins? How about those Spartans, right? Well, can only be one College World Series winner in Division II every year, and in this case, it is Sammy's alma mater. A swing and a miss. Strikeout for Metzdorf. Already has some pro experience under his belt in the White Sox organization. Down the line and all the way to the corner. That is a fair ball. Jaros on his way to second, and he will get there standing. One out double. Here is Jaron Advincula. Come to bat for the third time today, and see if he can make it 4-0 in favor of the Kettleers. One out here in the bottom of the fourth, and a runner in scoring position. Jack Volo got the start. That is on the inside corner for strike one. Did a good job escaping danger in the first and limiting the damage in the second. Unfortunately, Draper got tagged for 2 runs last inning, and now Metzdorf. Nice bite on that slider there, and he almost got Advincula to go around, but it is 1-1. Down away. 2-1 is a count, so Advincula hasn't bitten on the last 2 sliders. Those can just be absolutely devastating. I mean, left on left or right on right matchup. And if you don't believe me, ask Javi Baez. I mean, he's finally found it again somewhat this year. Over the third baseman's leaping effort into left for a base hit, and into score standing up is Jaros, and sliding into second is Advincula. 4-0. There was some absurd stat, I'll have to look it up another time, about Baez, like, swinging and missing, like, or striking out, like, X consecutive times, like, over 100 or something, on a slider away out of the zone. But unfortunately for Metzdorf, Advincula did not bite on either of those two, so it forced him to come back inside and paid the price. And again, good job by Advincula staying back, flicking it the other way over the leaping third baseman Normandy. Getting a second on the play, getting his jersey dirty. That's how you know you've had a good game. 1-1 with 1 out and a run home to Camden Johnson, who comes up empty, 1-2. Again, the Blue Sox will be back in action in the Intercity League each of the next 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Skied towards the corner, foul, and no chance for Casterly to haul that one in. And I know that from here it looks like the clouds are getting grayer, but still a good amount of blue sky just above that. But keep an eye on the weather for you. Lined, caught by Jimenez, and then he will step on second for the unassisted 6 double play to retire the side. Now that one wouldn't escape Jimenez's grasp, while the previous one did get past Normandy, but it is 4-0 Kettleers after 4. When I say LSP has something for everyone since 2011, I by God mean it. Sports, live events, pet sitting and walking, tech help, errands, and a whole lot more. Find our Thumbtack page and Linktree LSP37 or email yours truly so we can proceed to give you what you need.
Now pitching for the Kettleers, number 23, Jackson Decker from Saginaw Valley State. Decker, number 23, now pitching.
Another new arm on the mound for the Kettleers will be the lefty Jackson Decker out of Saginaw Valley State in Michigan. His first assignment is A.J. Lisco, who comes up empty for strike 1. Lisco, Ramirez, and Ward due up here in the top of the 5th. Lisco puts a charge into this one into deep right center field and just nicks off the right fielder's glove. Lisco will pull into second. He's watching it the whole way and thought about turning on the Jets and turn the corner to third. But probably the wise idea there to stay at second since the ball didn't get very far. And the right fielder, Knight, had backup. So a leadoff double for Lisco as the first hit of the ball game for the Blue Sox. 0-1-0, 4-7-0 for the Kettleers. Here's John Carlos Ramirez. On one is the count to John Carlos. Two-way player in his own right who's lit up the radar gun here. Last time we saw him pitch. Right now he's behind 0-2. Decker just finished his junior year with the Cardinals. That hit him? Nope. And just getting out of the way of the catcher in case he wanted to try and, nab Lisco. This year for Saginaw Valley, Decker went 9-3 through 2 complete games in 73 innings. Had a 3.58 ERA and a 1.21 whip. And he gets that one past John Carlos. One down here in the top of the 5th. Here is Luke Ward. See if he can trade places with Lisco and get the Blue Sox on the board. Take a 84 on the outside edge, 4 strike 1. Decker had 70 strikeouts in 73 innings for Saginaw Valley State this year. Decker was not only the captain of his high school baseball team at North Farmington High, he was also the captain of the bowling team there. Slow grounder the other way. It's smothered and no advance by Lisco from second, but able to reach is Luke Ward. He hears it from his personal cheering section. That's always a tough play, though, when you're the base runner. You see that slow rollers, and you think, well, forces at first, that's going to be the play, right? But when it's all developing for you right under your nose, like, you can't reasonably take a chance unless you make a split-second decision. And I think if Lisco did make the decision to go for it right off the bat, he probably could have made it, knowing now that how it played out. But hindsight is 20/20, and if wishes were horses, and so on and so forth. 1-1 is the count to Tyler Normandy, hoping to redeem himself for coming up short on that leaping effort at third on a base hit that brought him another run for the Kettleers. Coming up empty on a off-speed pitch at 75, falling off the table, and is 1-2. Decker won a conference championship in high school with North Farmington, was a 2-time conference champion in bowling. That's in there for strike 3 called. 2 down. And, of course, the equivalent of a pitcher in baseball in cricket is a bowler, and got to have some good stuff to play either position in those sports, and seeing some good stuff from the bowler right here. Here's Mrs. Vanderzoun's baby boy to try and cash in with 2 on and 2 out. That's a strike, but then it bounces away from the catcher for a moment. 0-1. 4-0 our score here in the top of the 5th, with the Blue Sox just now getting their first couple of hits of the ball game and hoping to cash in somehow and crack that goose egg. Of course, the Kettleers, Blue Sox is an exhibition game, does not count for either team's standings in the Cape League or the ICL. Mentioned that the Blue Sox will be back to work tomorrow for a triple back. Coming up empty there is Vanderzout, and bluffing the throw is French. 1-2. Blue Sox will see the very same Melrose Americans whose game they were facing in that suspended game last week. That'll be at Morelli on Monday night, and then Tuesday And Wednesday at LHS, visiting the Bulldogs and then hosting the Malden Mad Dogs. Really sent a message on behalf of the rest of the league to the Blue Sox in their 7-1 win back on May 30th. 4-0 after 4.5.
Bobby D'Agostino from Elmira. Leading off for the Kettleers, number 8, shortstop PJ Mutsaritas, Cal Berkeley.
Whole new battery for the Blue Sox as we go to the bottom of the 5th with Bobby Daggs behind the plate and Michael O'Brien, lefty from Tufts, on the mound. First pitch swinging floater down the line and into the corner for a leadoff stand-up double for PJ Mutsaritas. Not wasting any time against a new noodle. Rude little greeting there for him, but now it's Max Knight. Lefty on lefty matchup, and Knight with his profile, you'd like to see him put a charge into one and maybe make it 6-0 with one swing of the bat, but it's been no one's been able to clear the fence just yet. It's in there for a strike. Fastball at 84 for an 0-1 count. It's a little bit deeper, I believe, down the right field line than it is the left field lines. That's fouled off. Count will be 0-2. It's just 320 down the left field line, 397 to straightaway center. So the opportunity is there if a power hitter wants it. Another foul ball. Michael O'Brien is the son of current BC and former Patriots assistant and Houston Texans head coach Bill O'Brien. Another foul ball. You start with an 84-mile-an-hour fastball, and then you've been slowing it down, and that was 72 on the gun. Do you jump back up? Now you've slowed down is bad enough to maybe sneak one by him. Exactly. 84 on the edge, strike 3 called. O'Brien pitched 3 innings against the Mad Dogs in that aforementioned 7-1 loss on May 30th. 3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, and 2 wild pitches. This is for a ball. It was two wild pitches and one in his very first game of 2025 for OB after only uncorking a single wild pitch. All of 2024, and OB just got a warning. It didn't catch for what, but must have been just something related to either stepping off or getting ready before the batter was. Yeah, that's probably it. So got a warning, but back to live action, 1-2. 72 down and away. Falling just, you could kind of tell how it was rolling out of his hand. That change up there. As long as we're talking about bowling balls. Oh, well, I tried the same thing here that he was able to ring up Knight on, but to no avail. Now it's 2-2 to Farber with French due up next. Grounder to the left side. Jimenez has it on to first in time. 2 down, and to third goes Mutsaritas.
27, Anderson French, the catcher from Virginia Tech. French, number 27.
So we'll see if Anderson French can cash in with the runner third and 2 down. Leadoff double by P.J. Mutsaritas on the very first pitch of the inning, too. Michael O'Brien came the next 2 rather routinely anyways. Strikeout of Knight, and then the grounder to short by Farber. Able to hold up is French. Outside corner. 1-2. So if you're wondering how a Houston kid ended up at Tufts, well, thank Bill O'Brien for that. One and two is now the count. Bill O'Brien has long been a sought-after name in the coaching ranks of college and pro football. Patriots, Texans, Penn State, Alabama, BC. And he's a good one. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Michael O'Brien. And the Kettleers are held scoreless in the bottom of the 5th. To inning number 6 we go, 4-0, Cotuit. When I say LSP has something for everyone since 2011, I by God mean it. Sports, live events, pet sitting and walking, tech help, errands, and a whole lot more. Find our Thumbtack page or Linktree LSP37 or email yours truly so we can proceed to give you what you need.
Buckler, second year with the Kettleers, now pitching for Cotuit.
Ryan Buckler from Florida Atlantic will take over on the mound for the top of the sixth. Brian Acosta getting his first cuts of the ball game against a righty from Florida Atlantic. Swings and grounds this one to short, scooped up there, on to first, one up, one down. Buckler is a local product. He's from Marston's Mills, Mass., and he played his prep ball at Winchendon. Bobby Daggs getting his first plate appearance of the ball game, coming in defensively for Dush. And went around on that one. It is 0-1. Buckler's in his second year with the Kettleers. He actually played most of his summer ball last year with North Shore in the NECBL. Pitched in one game with the Kettleers last year. That was a 3-inning start when he got a no decision and went 3 innings, allowed 5 hits and 2 earned runs. Struck out just 1. 1 and 2 is the count to Bobby Daggs. Jack Kamen is apparently in the on-deck circle right now. And Bobby Daggs goes down. Couple of tough swings there. Tried to hold up on both the strike 1 and strike 3. It was unsuccessful both times. So here's Kamen. And thank you to Chris Del Sordo the other day. And Jack Kamen taking his first cuts for the Blue Sox in the regular season, for reminding me of the existence of Chris Kamen. Again, no relation. 0-1 is a count. Grounder just out of the reach of the pitcher, fielded at second, on to first for 1-2-3. Top of the sixth for Ryan Buckler and the Cotuit Kettleers. Still 4-0 Cotuit after 5.5. The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD or digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts, or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with my dog, Tina the Long Arena, on it, and some words I've probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. LSP37.create-spring for merch. Email yours truly for game videos.
26.
Ethan Swidler to lead things off. In the bottom of the 6th, he fouls that one off for strike number 2. Apologies for whiffing on the shift back to the game cam. This is inside for a ball, 1-2. We have a new wing on the mound. We have on the Blue Sox roster, it's listed as Vinny Ramos, number 10, but make sure that's right. Very well, me hearing a lot of marks, so it could be. Just want to make sure that might be Mark Herlihy, and I was wrong on the pitch count. It was never 2 strikes. Ball 4. Get that sorted out as soon as we can. That one gets away from D'Agostino and up to second. Goes Swidler. Wiggins settles back into the batter's box here in the bottom of the 6th with a runner in scoring position once again, and a 4-0 lead for the Cotuit Kettleers. Up and away for a ball. It'll be 2-0. Four runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Kettleers. 0-2-0 for the Blue Sox. 2-1 now is the count. Strike 2. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Ryan Jaros' spot, the number 9 spot, due up next for the Kettleers. Chopper to the left side. Throw on to first. Just barely in time. Wiggins flying up the line. One down, but to third on the play goes Swidler. 1-0 is the count to Jaros, the designated hitter from NC State. One and 1 is the count. Appreciate it, dear. How's the queen? 1 and 1 is the count. Down and away. 2 and 1. .85 there, and it's 2 and 2. Smash up the middle, just out of the reach of both the pitcher and the second baseman. Into center for a base hit, and in from third comes Swidler to make it 5-0. Jaros with the base hit and the RBI, and the lineup turns over for Jaron Advincula. Outside for a ball. Count will be 1-0. 5-0 is our score. Kettleers on top of the Blue Sox with the RBI single just now by Ryan Jaros. 9th hit of the game. There's number 10 for the Kettleers. Jaros taking the turn. A missile to third, and they got him! What a seed by Brian Acosta from right field to nab Jaros, trying to make it first to third.
12, Cameron Johnson, Wichita State.
In the back door, Advincula gets to second, but my God, like, the distance on the throw was perfect. I was just a little concerned that it might have been a bit off target, and coming back to tag him wouldn't have been in time. But a reprieve for the Blue Sox there. Again, from this vantage point, thought they weren't going to make the tag in time after the throw was otherwise there. And now a pop fly. A shallow center. Where is it? It's caught. For the out, that retires the side. So 5-0 now, Kettleers, but thanks to Brian Acosta, it ain't any worse right now for the Blue Sox. Are you down with a sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web, Linktree, Facebook, YouTube, PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP37. Don't forget to subscribe, flash the subscribe button. Membership's also available, and we're also on Thumbtack and TCG Player if you're into that sort of thing. Dylan Scudder, who has his own cheering section as well, apparently, today. And probably a good reason for that, considering he's from Simsbury, Connecticut, plays his high school ball at Simsbury High. And he comes to the Kettleers from Bryant University in Smithfield, Rhode Island. And there he had come from Eastern Connecticut State. So keeping it local, and now they 0-1 count to the leadoff man, Charlie Camella. Scudder, after 2 years at Eastern, his first year with the Bryant Bulldogs, 0-2 with a 5.02 ERA in 28 2/3 innings and 2 saves. It's up and away for a ball at 94, which is about the high score today so far for pitchers. want to call it that. Outside. 2-2. Scudder played his last 2 years of summer ball with New Britain of the Futures League. And gets a swing and a miss out of Camella for out number 1. His fans are loving it.
Number 2, and it's Jimenez, the shortstop.
Now here's Jimenez. 2024 is probably just about every metric. Almost every metric, anyways. Scudder's best year so far on the bump since high school. Fouled off. For Eastern that year, he went 4-1 with a 2.61 ERA. 38 innings. Down and away. Struck out 27 to 13 walks. Grounder to the left side. Diving stop. Throw. In time to get him. Oh, my goodness. Again, you didn't have a good day if you didn't get your jersey dirty, and my God. Like, that can easily result in some communication on the left side of the infield. I've seen one fine play from Ren Farber. Fouled off. Lisco hoping to avert another 1-2-3 inning here with a 1-1 count. Fouls that one off. Scudder with the 1-2. That's downstairs. For New Britain last year, Scudder went 3-2 with a 344 in 36 2/3 innings. Swing and a miss, 94, probably outside the zone, but got the swing and miss anyways. And the side is retired, and the Scudders loving that effort. Stretch time, 5-0, Kettleers.
pitching for Lexington, number 43, Rand Gary from Northern Essex Community College. Gary now pitching for the Blue Sox.
Brian Garre going to take the mound here for the bottom of the 7th for the Blue Sox, a Northern Essex product. And Mutsaritas back to work at the plate. So Garre hasn't he's only pitching one game so far for the Blue Sox, and that was the win over the Chiefs, and that was a dicey spot that he found himself in too. That was a game the Blue Sox led 8-0 with 3 outs to get, and he allowed 5 runs in two-thirds innings, two-thirds of an inning. Around 3 hits and 1 walk, and struck out 1 and hit a batter. 64 past him. Well, it's probably the low score today. 1 and 2. So when you have an outing like that, a spot like this for a guy like Garre is probably the best thing that could happen to you, short of maybe a phenomenal throw and pick at first, although that wasn't going to happen there. But a great effort nonetheless by AJ and AJ, Anderson Jimenez and AJ Lisco. In the end, it is an infield single for Mutsaritas. Yeah, if you have an outing like that, to have a chance with like no stakes here to hone your stuff against some elite talent. There's a fly ball into deep left, and that is gone. Kept carrying with the runner going, and there's a little bit of a breeze at the same time, and that is enough for a 2-run home run. Oh, we have been waiting to see the power stroke from Max Knight. Yeah. $7-0. The 2-run piece to left field. So Ren Farber, coming off his second and probably best highlight reel play of the day in the top half this inning, lines out into the glove of A.J. Lisco. Soft liner, but we've seen some tricky balls already this season, that shape in that direction this season in Blue Sox games, and A.J. able to pass that test for the first out of this bottom of the 7th. Now, of the players listed as just pitchers on the Kettleers today, it's another turn at bat for Anderson French. We have yet to see Mason Davenport from Stetson. It's outside for ball. Tyler Albanese from San Jose State. Joey Volsho from Stanford. Brandon Langley from Western Carolina. Yeah, those are the pitchers we've already seen. Those are pitchers we haven't seen yet, rather. Charlie Walker from Northeastern is also rostered, but listed as closer, but haven't seen him yet. We're seeing a deep fly by French off the wall. Takes a funny bounce away from the center fielder, Camella. He's able to get it back in to the infield, but it's already a double now for one Anderson French. And now here's Swidler. The two-way players. Max Knight is a two-way player, and Nolan Stevens also yet to see on the mound. 1-0 is the count with one out here in the bottom of the seventh. 7-0 is our score after a 2-run piece by Max Knight. 2-0 is the count. Two and one with a get me over 70-mile-an-hour pitch. Runner goes for third, throw down, and no chance there for Bobby Daggs. 3-1 is the count. Stolen base for the catcher, French. Misses outside, 78 on that one. It is ball four, and it's runners at the corners with one out. Here is Andrew Wiggins. Back up to bat, and repeats on the success he had for the Hoosiers this year. The Big Ten still represented in the Super Regionals by UCLA somehow. Yeah, I know that's been an unpopular topic of, just the degree of conference realignment lately. But when you know the kind of storied, as a player, if your only concern is competition, I mean, knowing the storied history of multiple sports at USC and UCLA, you welcome it. Wiggins takes a strike. 256, 454, 414 was his slash line this year for the Hoosiers. Had more walks than base hits, in fact. Now he's got a full count. Last year for Keenan in the NECBL, 218, 420, 317. 34 walks to 22 hits. Only 6 of which were for extra bases. But remember, he can also run. 8 of 10 with Keene last year and 7 of 9 this year with Indiana. Runner goes from first. The pitch is fouled off once again. And, UCLA still in the Super Regionals this year. And USC has the most College World Series titles, but they haven't won in decades. Haven't had one in decades, and that's going to be ball four to Wiggins. Same song, different verse when you look at his numbers, and the bases are loaded. Bases loaded, one out. Dag's going to have a word with Garay, and Jaros will come to the bat with the bases full of Kettleers. That bounces away from D'Agostino, and runner scores on the wild pitch. It is 8-0. Weather-wise, certainly a very different game than what we had yesterday. And I mentioned earlier that apart from the COVID season, this game has always seen first pitch. Delays or shortenings notwithstanding. Foul ball over towards the Blue Sox dugout, and catch was made. Luke Ward manning first base over there. So my mistake on calling it AJ to AJ earlier. So 2 down, and second and third with 8-0 score in favor of the Cotuit Kettleers. 8-13, 0 on the line score for them, 0-2-0 for the Blue Sox. Is 1-0. Certainly won't be seeing Dean West from UCLA. He was on the Kettleers roster. Mentioned the Bruins still trying to find their way to Omaha. Grounder to the right side. Good job following the hop. And throw on to first. Advincula retired, and so are the Kettleers here in the bottom of the 7th. Well, Dylan Scudder's cheering section will be happy. You get a double dose of him here to start the top of the 8th. I'll run inside for a ball. 1-0. Oh! Up and in. And he got his dome there. 2-0. Up and away. On the outside corner. 3-1 to I mean, that's Will Norris. And I ascertain who's in the on-deck circle because Kamen took this at-bat last time, but again, it's an exhibition, low stakes. And maybe not for him as he beats out the throw.
Number 19, Luke Ward, Holy Cross.
Luke Ward taking his turn at bat. Normandy due up next. Ruled an error on that play that allowed Norris to reach. Foul over towards the Blue Sox dugout, 0-2.
I'm not very hyped about it. I'm kind of very hyped.
Number 50, Tyler Normandy, Worcester State. Let's go, Kettleers! Last year.
It's like, that doesn't sound like a volunteer.
There's only one day. Number 46, David Van Zalen, Bentley. 31, Brian Acosta, now batting for Lexington. Acosta from Lowell. Bobby D'Agostino and Myra. 2, Will Norris, Wofford. And leading off for the Kettleers, number 12, Camden Johnson, Wichita State.
I'd like to apologize, folks. We got some jersey numbers still need to be straightened out a bit. And this is Will Norris. This actually driven deep to right. This is a strong boy in Camden Johnson. Second pitch off the Wofford commit. Ranches him.
Number 8, PJ Mucharitas, Cal Berkeley.
9-2. So apologies for any mismatches we have with jersey numbers and such. Trying to get a lot of things sorted out. I mean, these exhibitions, really just, it's not about the score. It's not about the stats. It is about getting the work in for both of these teams. And, the Blue Sox about to, already got their season underway, and it's a very competitive season to begin 2025 in the ICL. Kettleers getting their guys ready for live game action starting this weekend. One down now here in the bottom of the 8th.
25, Max Knight, Missouri State.
Season opener in the Cape League for the Kettleers will be Saturday at Orleans, and then the home opener is Sunday at 5 o'clock against Wareham. For many years, teams in the Cape League, good portion that were nicknamed and were also have their uniforms or logos modeled after MLB teams. That is no longer the case with most of those. Kettleers have always been the Kettleers. Two down after that strikeout of Max Knight, unable to repeat his performance from his last at-bat. Ren Farber's had a phenomenal game at the plate and in the field. Absurd robbery of a base hit a couple innings ago. Got off track with the Cape League thing. Yeah, the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox are still the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, which kind of throws me off as someone whose media career started covering the Blue Sox, but also high school sports in Mass. And the high school in that area is Dennis Yarmouth rather than Yarmouth Dennis. Well, the Orleans Firebirds, well, they are the Orleans. They used to be the Orleans Cardinals, are now the Orleans Firebirds. Bourne Braves, now the Bourne Canalmen. Were the Bourne Canalmen. Now back to the Bourne Braves. I remember a time when they were the Canalmen for briefly, but I guess they're back to the Braves. I apologize. Yeah. I got bamboozled there. One thing I do recall, though, and it's always interesting to me in this regard, is that I believe I learned this from former Blue Sox catcher Jeff Vigers. Runner goes. Throw down to second. One hop and past the bag. A stolen base. As Vigsy had the, had Harwich Mariners, paraphernalia with him in games. And, when that, those changes were essentially forced by Major League Baseball, the nickname and logo changes. The Harwich Mariners were allowed to remain the Harwich Mariners because they predate the Seattle Mariners franchise. Their uniforms are modeled after the Seattle Mariners, although just navy and red rather than navy and teal or yellow, depending on the day. Sunday home games is the cream jerseys with blue and yellow. Three and 0 is the count. A 9-2 ball game. It's in there for a strike. 3-1. More action on the Blue Sox bullpen. We're going to play at least one more inning. Again, the number of innings in these games is really indeterminate. It's just a matter of, how many guys need work, how many guys you have, and so on and so forth. Don't want to shortchange anyone, especially for the Blue Sox in an experience like this. At this level of baseball, this is where iron sharpens iron. Again, this is the 18th weekend Blue Sox and Kettleers have faced each other. As I mentioned earlier, there were times in years past where Blue Sox would come down for the whole weekend and play a 2-game set, stay overnight. Down away for ball, 1-1. We've never missed a game other than 2020 for COVID. Never had a game called off due to weather. And unlike last year, today is panned out to be a beautiful day at the ballpark. Pop fly, hands the bottom of the 8th.
pitching for the Kettleers, number 48, Tyler Albanese, San Jose State.
Tyler Albanese, the San Jose State Spartan right-hander, will take over on the mound for the top of the ninth, and Jack Kamen will be his first test.
Lexington, number 6, Jack Kamen.
Albanese is from Redlands, California. He's not even 20 yet. He turns 20 on September 15th. And already 2 years of ball in the Mountain West under his belt. This year for the Spartans, 2.97 ERA in 39 1/3 innings, 4-3 record, 19 walks, 56 Ks. One up, one down on the strikeout. Came in by Albanese. Lamb turns over for Camella.
Number 18, Luke Maltas.
Or is that Luke Maltasia? That's where I got it. Where I got messed up. Here is Maltasia. I mentioned he had not yet made his debut in the ICL season yet. Luke did. He's got one of his future George Washington teammates on the other side of the field, and we already saw when Max Hogg put in his work as Maltasea grounds one into right field for a base hit.
Number 14, Pat Casserly, Holy Cross.
Here's Casserly. Comes up empty. Albanese last year in summer ball played for lacrosse in the Northwoods League and went 1-3 with a 6.04 ERA, 50 2/3 innings, 54 Ks to 20 walks, and some issue here, but maybe no longer. But season with San Jose State this year was really night and day compared to his first year with San Jose State, and then his season with lacrosse last summer. Back pick attempt is not in time. Check swing down and away. One and two is the count. Broken bat pop up into foul territory and caught at first base. It's French over there at first base now. 2 down. Should be Brendan Doyle, I believe. Is that 48?
Brendan Doyle, number 48 for Wentworth.
Doyle just finished his senior year at Melrose High. He's a commit to Josh Becker taking over on the mound for the Blue Sox here in the bottom of the ninth. There doesn't appear to be any further action warming in the Kettleers bullpen. It does look like there's more action in the Blue Sox bullpen, so we'll see how that plays out, as that'll be outside for ball one. Again, it's just a matter of like getting everybody the reps that they need. Everybody get, fit their fair share and whatnot. Here is Andrew Wiggins. Mentioned his patience at the plate. More walks than hits. This past season for the Indiana Hoosiers. He's already ahead 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk from Becker begins the bottom of the ninth. And even though the Kettleers are leading, and has nothing to do with how much more we play. Probably is going to be the plan the whole way. And again, this is just a competitive. Don't get folks on this here YouTube channel. Was suspended due to darkness/power outage, thanks to the absurdly hot day on Thursday that forced the town of Lexington to do rolling blackouts, and unfortunately, LHS was affected at the time we were trying to play the third inning against the Melrose Americans. Grounded to short. That takes a bloodbath of a hop off of Anderson Jimenez, and everybody's safe. I guess the only saving grace there is that it didn't go into center field and give Wiggins the chance to get to third on the play. First error of the ball game for the Blue Sox right there, and Becker's in the thick of it here as Lamp turns over for Advincula. Line the other way, but that'll be foul. Liner, couple of hops, 4, 6, 3 not in time. Get the man in the middle, but now it'll be runners at the corners.
12, Camden Johnson, Wichita State.
Down and away, and No thought of a throw there, and it'll be 1-1. Appreciate the patience, folks. We worked through the technical difficulties of the streaming, but should be smooth sailing now. Of course, now I'm going to pay for that. Grounder to the right side. Only play will be to first. 2 down and another run and home. Another run that comes home for the Kettleers. It is 11-2.
25, Max Knight, Missouri State.
What does Max Knight have in store for us? 2 down, a runner at third. Outside edge for a strike. Swing and a miss. Oh and 2 tonight. Kicks away over towards the Kettleers dugout on the wild pitch. An easy run for the Kettleers to walk home. One and 2 with 2 down here in the bottom of the ninth. The Kettleers don't have anyone else moving the bullpen. There are guys throwing in the Blue Sox pen, but that'll be strike 3. Swing and a miss by Knight. Gonna keep playing or gonna go to the 10th? Is that what we're doing? Sometimes even I don't know in these games, but it does appear as though, yep, we got guys with batting helmets on and whatnot, and should be good to go. Oh, actually, is this? Oh, I see what we're doing here. I see what. Okay, so oh no, are we doing this? I remember there's a time, I think it was the Kettleers game. Was it? Where the Kettleers had to have one of their guys pitch while we were in the field or vice versa. I forget what it was. I have to go back in the archives and check, but that looks like that is the case here. So we're going to have the Blue Sox have a Blue Sox pitcher pitch to his hitters, and that would be Chris Wannett, the righty out of Boston College. This was a thing that happened, 2 years ago during the World Baseball Classic? Oh, just before the World Baseball Classic, I think it was like the Red Sox playing against the Puerto Rican team. I think that was the case, but at one point, I think it was a Red Sox pitcher pitching to Red Sox batters because Puerto Rico didn't want to, exhaust all their pitchers. Or just had exhausted them, just didn't have anyone else. They still had to finish the game.
Now pitching, number 40, Chris Wannett on the Lexington Blue Sox roster. Boston College.
And Chris just introducing himself to the third baseman now over there for the Kettleers. That would be Camden Johnson. Started the game in the left, and now there he is at third. I don't know how many of y'all who have played baseball have ever been in this position past Little League. I wonder if anyone would be tempted to, I mean, it shouldn't matter in a game like this or that, Red Sox game I mentioned. But, oh, that was a ball. All right, sorry, 2-1. You really shouldn't be doing this in the first place, to be fair, if you're down 10, but would you ever be tempted to, serve meatballs to your teammates in this situation? I mean, and that just undermines your own efforts when you know the purpose of a game like this. But yeah, I actually think I remember where I had seen that. Where the thing I was thinking of. Gotta go on Facebook Messenger real quick and just look at my chats with Sway. Grounded to short, fielded there. A little bit up the line and not in time. Good job, good effort, but good effort, but base hit. Yep, there it is. Yep, just found it. Even made going back to Sway with going back to my chat with Sway and the Red Sox. Yeah, exactly. A Red Sox pitcher pitching to the Red Sox in spring training and exhibition against the Puerto Rican national team. And I specifically invoked a previous Blue Sox Kettleers game. And it's the first time I'd seen something like that above this level of competition. Chris won it, pitching to his own teammates. Foul tip into the mitt. Strike three, one down. Here's Normandy. Oh, and 1. One down here in the top of the 10th. I am not sure if this means that we're going to see a bottom half. Again, there was nobody warming for the Kettleers in their bullpen. It's not like they can't have another pitcher. It's just, do they want another pitcher? Do they need to have another pitcher is the question. Does this guy need to go another inning? But again, that's neither here nor there at this point because you got Juan at pitching. Now there's nobody warming behind Juan in the Blue Sox bullpen, and that foul ball quickly retiring Jimenez. This might be the final out of the ball game here as Acosta steps to the plate. Make sure of that. Outside for a ball. Kettleers media interns also working this game for their stream, and swing and miss over the top of that one. And I don't know how many of them have ever seen Intercity League game or a Park League game or a Yawkey League game or whatnot. And this would be your first introduction to covering the Kettleers. I mean, it's not like you're not aware of the existence of scrimmages, but have you ever seen something like this? Well, again, said it happened a couple of years ago in a spring training game between the Red Sox and the Puerto Rican national team. Tied 2-2, but it's not something that happens very often, but you got to do what you got to do to fine-tune yourself and see what you're working with. So the Cape League season is about to begin, and the ICL season is underway, and want it, Fans Acosta. And now we will have the bottom of the 10th. John Carlos Ramirez, who had exited the lineup to go warm up. Again, substitution rules do not exactly apply in this scrimmage. And Carlos Ramirez will toe the rubber for the bottom of the 10th. Casual 72. We'll see if he ramps it up here. I know he can bring it both at the plate and on the mound. John Carlos is third year with the Blue Sox. Has yet to make a pitching appearance this season. For the last two seasons, he only made one appearance on the mound in the regular season, regular season last year, and made two appearances last year's postseason. But regular season in 2023, appeared in 3 games, 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 8 runs, 7 of which were earned. Walked 7, struck out 5, hit 3 batters, threw 3 wild pitches. It's kind of a dicey scenario there, especially in that game on August 3rd against the Expos. Only got 1 out while allowing 2 hits and 6 runs and 3 walks.
I'd like to remind all the fans here, Kettleers open the season next Saturday on the road.
Only pitched in 1 game in the regular season last year against Andre on July 10th. 1 inning, no runs, no hits, no walks, no strikeouts, in fact. But last year in the postseason, Carlos pitched in 2 games, was 1-0 and allowed just 1 earned run in 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, but 6 walks, 9 strikeouts. With his win, coming against the Andre Chiefs in the championship series. 1-1 is the count here from John Carlos to Ren Farber, who has been one of the biggest stars of this game for the Kettleers. Third baseman out of Texas State. Not at third base in the top half of this inning, though. French and then Swidler's spot behind him. It is outside for a ball, 3-1. And John Carlos is able to get it up to 92 there. At least that's the high score for the Blue Sox today. Oof. Just missed inside. Leadoff walk for Farber.
27, and this is Brent, Virginia Tech.
I'll also mention that, for the sake of argument, if John Carlos were to get a double play ball here on French and then retire Swidler, Kettleers may want to finish the turn through the order Make sure everybody got the same number of plate appearances. Again, would Rick want the same? And then you just kind of a weird way to try and play, you know. Try to line things up. Someone's going to get shortchanged in the end.
Ethan Strickler, Lafayette. Number 13, Andrew Wiggins, Indiana University. Number 10, Ryan Carroll's, North Carolina State. Number 7, Aaron Vigila, down Berkeley. Number 12, Dan Johnson, Wichita State.
And that will do it with that fly out to left. This 18th exhibition weekend between the Blue Sox and the Cotuit Kettleers is in the books. 14-2 is the final nominally, but again, this isn't a game for stats. This isn't a game for runs. This isn't a game for wins and losses, whatever. It is a game of tradition and personal history, of course, for Rick DeAngelis, a former Kettleer, and it's it means a lot to Rick. It means a lot to the Blue Sox. It means a lot to the Kettleers, and it means a lot to me too to be able to do this from one of the finest fields here in Massachusetts and on beautiful Cape Cod, and where so many current and future major leaguers have played and will play. And Blue Sox and Kettleers are going to get together for a group photo here, which we can zoom in on and let that be our parting shot for tonight. They all gather around. As they get that set, we'll say that once again, this has been a presentation of LSP, something for everyone for over a decade. Copyright 2025. Unauthorized redistribution of any portion of this broadcast without the express written permission of Lexington Blue Sox or LSP is strictly prohibited. A reminder that you can support LSP and future content through using the codes and a link on your screen or in the description for discounting your orders on shipping shields, the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly. You can also advertise on future content for as little as $25 a spot. You can email yours truly for that information, as well as information on other services we can offer you on our Thumbtack page or Linktree. Buy some stuff from our spring store, and of course, there's our social media. Final score, irrelevant. There's a lot more that matters in this game than what you see in the bottom right corner of your screen, 14-2. Don't take that personally if you are new to the Blue Sox and fan and learning about it. This is an exhibition. You find out what you have. You'll learn more about your teammates. You'll learn more about what everyone's capable of, and that's the important part. For all my very rowdy friends here on Cape Cod, my name is Sam Fiedler, reminding you forever and always, freelance isn't free. Thanks for tuning in. Fresh for 2025. Suckers.